Right, hello YouTube. Oh, hang on, let's do it like this. Right, hello YouTube. I feel like we haven't done this in a while where I sit down and I just chat to you guys. I feel like I've recently kind of boxed myself in with YouTube. If I'm not going to a card show, I'm not making a video. And in 2026, I absolutely want to change that. I do feel like in 2025, I somewhat abandoned the YouTube channel. And actually, this is really where it all started. And I think abandoning the YouTube channel is not fair. And I want to reignite that excitement I have for making YouTube videos. So in this video, it's going to be completely raw, unedited. I don't think I've ever done this where I've just uploaded a YouTube video. There you go. I've made a mistake already. As is, without any kind of fancy editing. And I kind of want to get better at public speaking as well, without the kind of the ums and the ahs. I have a real bad habit of saying all the time. And I remove it when doing the editing. So you might not notice it, but you might notice it in this video. But I'm actively trying to become better at it. So this video is intentionally unedited. So let's go through my 2026 goals. In 2026, I am shifting direction. So what I want to move away from, and this isn't necessarily a knock on anyone that does this, it's almost, I've been so impressed, and I always shout him out, and I'm going to carry on doing it because he is my best friend in the hobby, and he is excellent. But JJJ Cards is such a fantastic entrepreneur, businessman, seller of cards, reseller, whatever you want to call him. I wouldn't want to box him into just that. Entrepreneur is probably the word I think of when I think of Joe. Watching him at shows, he's unbelievable. And looking at his showcase, he has some amazing cards. And I recently did a TikTok video where I answered someone's question on them kind of falling out of love with the buying and selling of cards. And my response to that was, it's becoming harder and harder and harder. And Joe has recently done an Instagram post about this as well, where he really kind of, his prediction for 2026 was that with more people coming into the hobby, more people breaking, more people wanting to buy and sell cards, competition is rife and it will be harder to buy and sell cards. And effort is going to be the number one thing. And buying cards is going to be harder. Everyone has access to eBay comps. You buy a card on eBay, you're buying at the comp. People are using Card Ladder, people are using eBay sold listings to see those. So buying cards at a percentage that makes sense, that gives you enough room, requires a lot of effort. It requires you to DM people over Instagram. You need negotiation skills. You need negotiation tactics. You need sales ability. You need to know exactly what your margins are. You need to know exactly what you're looking for. You need to not waste time with people, which can be quite cutthroat, I think. Sometimes I very much don't like to let people down or say to people, you know, I'm not interested in your cards. But you have to do that. You absolutely have to do that. And I've decided that the buying and selling of cards towards the end of the year for 2025, I bought some cards at silly prices that I shouldn't have done at Collector's Showcase. I paid way too much for cards. I got burnt and I got left with selling cards for much lower than I bought them for because people wouldn't buy cards from me over comps. And I don't want to sell cards to people over comps. But unfortunately, Card Ladder wasn't quite working for me, and I was going off other people's ideas of comps, which were completely, were way too high. And I'm stuck with cards now that don't really form part of my PC. I don't necessarily want, and probably will have to sell at a loss, which can be a little bit upsetting and is unfortunate, shall we say. And I think that kind of somewhat left a bad taste in my mouth and made me kind of realize me and Joe talk every day, and I had a kind of a WhatsApp call with Joe, or, you know, we went back and forth via voice notes. And he, in a roundabout way, said, is buying and selling sports cards for you? Kind of opened it up as a question. He didn't say it, like it was just kind of saying, do you enjoy the aspect of buying and selling? And actually that kind of, you need someone in your life that asks you questions and that is not a yes man. And Joe certainly isn't a yes man. It's easy to have a lot of yes men around you sometimes. Not that I'm saying anyone is a yes man around me. I'm just saying that that can happen. And having someone that is realistic and honest with you is precious. And it made me think, like, buying and selling sports cards, do I enjoy it? What do I enjoy the most about the hobby? And actually what I enjoy the most about the hobby is this, is the talking, is the storytelling, is the collecting. Since day one, I've never stopped collecting. Never stopped. I might have stopped buying and selling cards. I might have moved into different buying and selling strategies. I might have gone from low-end singles to mid-end singles, which is what happened recently towards the end of the year. But I've never stopped collecting. My Fulham 2020 Prism PC, I know I talk about it all the time. I bought a card this week for that. And that was originally my collection, really, from day dot, post-basketball. So let's go through my 2026 goals and why I'm shifting away from buying and selling and focusing more on the storytelling, more on the collecting aspect of the hobby, and more of showcasing other collectors' stories that maybe don't want to appear on camera or don't want to make content, or are comfortable on camera but don't want to make content of their own. And really showing the happy, collecting, warm community aspect of the hobby, as opposed to me buying and selling cards that I actually don't really have that much interest in as a collector. So my goals for 2026, I want to double my following across all socials. So currently at the moment on YouTube, I'm sitting at 6,000 subscribers. I'd like to double that to 12,000 by the end of the year. For TikTok, I'm on 14.6 thousand followers. So I'd like to double that to 30,000. And for Instagram, I'm on 5,000 roughly. I think it's 5,100 and something. I'd like to double it to 10,000. So those are my follower count goals. For views on YouTube, I'd like one video to break 10,000 views, which is very difficult. For TikTok, I'd like a video to break 100,000 views. And for Instagram, I'd like a reel to break 50,000 views. All of which I have done apart from the Instagram one. So that's interesting. Through the hobby, I'd like to meet a new footballer I've previously never met. Now, that opportunity will likely come from the Huddle, as I've worked very closely with the Huddle, and we've got some really, really exciting plans coming in 2026. I know I've talked about the Huddle, and we've done some I've done a video on my Instagram quite a while ago now announcing that I'm going to be doing stuff for the Huddle. But I'm sure lots of you hopefully follow the Huddle on Instagram and seen that Tanner is absolutely killing the breaks at the moment. He's smashing it. And it's not just breaking that the Huddle are focused on. So it's lots of things. And some of those exciting things will happen in 2026, which you should stay tuned for. So the opportunity to meet a new footballer will likely come from the Huddle, but I'm not turning down any other opportunity as well. I've been really, really lucky, and I'm very grateful that I've had the opportunity to meet actually a few footballers through the hobby. I've met Iwobi, I've met Bassi. Unfortunately, we didn't actually get any content done through there. I've met Pereira. These are kind of in passing. I've met Tosin, Dominic Solanke. I've met Harry Cornick. I've met loads and loads of footballers. Scott Twine. There's a few. I'm sure there's a few more that I'm not thinking of. Amari Bell. Jacob Brown. I think I'm going to stop, but I think that's all of them. But they're just people that are in the hobby that collect cards. And I'd like to be able to work with some of those in some way to provide content. I think that would be really exciting. I'm just looking up. I've got some sticky notes on my wall here. So they're not actually notes for this video, but they're actually my goals. So that's something new. I've put up video ideas. I've got tasks, and then I've got goals, and I've got a massive calendar over here. So other things that I want to do, I want to visit a brand new card show. Now, actually, that goal is probably already going to be completed in February because I'm going to the Yorkshire Card Show, and it's been about time. It's about time I've been to a Yorkshire Card Show. I love Adam. I think he's a great guy. I think he's doing fantastic things in the hobby. And for whatever reason, I have not been to a Yorkshire Card Show. I've always been busy, or there's always been something that's come up. But thankfully, there is a Saturday and a Sunday show at the Birmingham NEC, so I'm going to make it to that one. I'm going to go at least one of the days. I've got a ticket for the weekend. I'm going to drive up and drive back, hopefully both days. So that one's kind of already in the bag. I want to appear as a guest on someone else's video, someone new. And that I'm hoping for it to be kind of a podcast or a YouTube video, specifically a long form video, I'm hoping. I would like to receive a email inbound lead and for me to follow that up for some sort of opportunity, maybe an advert, maybe to work with, collaborate with another creator or even a brand. I'd like to deepen my relationship with a card company, potentially Topps, Fanatics. And that's it, I think. So they're the current goals for now. I want to not abandon YouTube, of course. I want to really knuckle down on the short form because I actually have been producing so much short form content recently. As of today, Tuesday, the 6th of January, I've posted 5 TikToks already. And just for today. So that is really, really good. I'm on a roll. I'm really, really enjoying it. But take a video like a day in my life, which a recent one did really, really well, of a day in my life last weekend. There's no reason why that cannot be a long form video as well. I just have to be intentionally filming landscape and portrait when I'm out and about. So I'm going to do that this weekend. That's the test. This weekend, I've entered in for the raffle, but I'm hopefully going to be attending the new Premier League sticker album launch with Luke Solve and GBW, just as a guest, at the Fanatic store in Regent Street. And then on that same day, on Saturday this week, I'm hoping to attend I'm not hoping to attend. I've got tickets for Fulham versus Middlesbrough. So I'm going with my brother and a best mate of mine. So really, really looking forward to that. So that hopefully will be a day in my life YouTube video, TikTok, Instagram, and I'm really enjoying photography. I'm not calling myself a photographer, but I'm enjoying the sort of the digital camera videos. Or pictures. I don't know if any of you have seen on my Instagram, lots of digital camera pictures. I really enjoy kind of taking pictures of moments, not knowing if it's going to come out. Most of the pictures don't come out in the end, and you end up losing some, but you end up gaining some. Some look really cool, some just look awful. So I'm going to take some pictures at the Fanatic store. I'm going to take some pictures at the game, the football, and it will be kind of like a digital experience of a football hobby launch and also football games, a football match, fandom, that sort of thing. So that's exciting. I'm looking forward to that. The strategy for my TikTok is, and I heard this on TikTok, people are on TikTok to learn or to laugh. And I think that's a really, really good mantra to go by. Give all of your experiences, the lessons that you've learned away for free on social media so that people can learn off you. Allow people to ask questions and make videos on people's questions, which TikTok is amazing for. If someone can ask a question, you can then pin that question onto the video and reply to the question with a video. I think that's fantastic. I don't know why other platforms haven't worked that out, but TikTok is brilliant for that. Encourage discourse, opening up questions of what would you like to see within the hobby for 2026? What would you like to change within the hobby for 2026? I've got a video in my drafts already for this evening for that. And then for the Instagram stuff, it's really quality. It's actually the complete opposite of TikTok. So TikTok is kind of throw a load of stuff at the wall, see what sticks. Sometimes the most random video that you don't expect to do well will do really well. Sometimes your most high quality, high production video will bomb. And that is just TikTok. It's just the algorithm. The way the algorithm works is you post the video out, it goes to 100 random people, and depending on how long they watched the video, whether they liked it, shared it, etc., is dependent on how many more people TikTok push that video out to. And if you're doing TikToks on a niche, like I am with sports cards, it's very difficult to go viral talking about a niche. So a TikTok strategy is also to be able to talk about football as a sport outside of the standard hobby bits as well. And that has actually been working for me. I did a video on Harrison Reed's goal this last week. Yeah, on Sunday. And that did really, really well. So moving outside of the niche a little bit. Now with Instagram, what I've learned is that Instagram, your followers can get follower fatigue if you post too much. I really like Instagram as a photo app, and the way I've kind of adapted to force myself to do reels is by doing reels and then uploading a photo as the cover that I wanted to have a photo of on Instagram already. And that's kind of been putting me in the right mindset of going, Dan, you've got to post an Instagram reel as well as being able to post videos on YouTube and TikTok. And also not be too scared of sharing videos across all three platforms. So I'm not stressed about uploading a video to TikTok, then sharing that to Instagram Reels, and then also sharing that to YouTube Shorts. I would rather, if I can, post exclusive content to each app, but sometimes if something is really poignant and I think is a good video, then it's worth sharing across all three, I think, anyway. Now with YouTube, I really don't want to, I want to get myself out of this kind of boxed in feeling of I have to make a YouTube video polished, I have to tell a story. Obviously storytelling is kind of what I want to do. However, not every YouTube video has to bang views. I don't think anyway. That's the kind of the route I want to take with my YouTube. And I have also abandoned the members, which is fair to say. There is a membership channel on my YouTube that's $1.99, which offers additional support to me as a content creator where you can get behind the scenes access. I was very good at posting behind the scenes videos from card shows. However, since putting a camera behind me and doing the buying and selling, I've actually really not found any additional content from a card show that I can post to the members. So I don't want to be set up at too many shows for 2026. That's a big change. I would actually rather attend shows and get as much content as I can. I can set up at a card show, put a camera behind me for the whole time, buy and sell cards, have 20 negotiations, and then I've got one YouTube video where I highlight the 20 negotiations and I could have 20 shorts. I could attend the card show for 6-7 hours. I genuinely think I could get 100 videos out of it or 100 clips, and I'm not even joking. So that's the goal. Quantity. And then you can choose the quality out of the quantity. Sometimes filming everything as much as you can then allows you to pick the best bits. If you think you're just going to go for quality and film 5 clips, you've only got those 5 clips to work with. So there's a little tip for anyone that's kind of creating content. Some video ideas that I've got, and I appreciate any kind of any comments about down below about what you want to see out of the channel, what you want to see from me in 2026 would actually be really, really appreciated. I would really, really value any kind of ideas from you. I'm not asking you to give me ideas because I don't have any myself, but I'm really open to kind of any suggestions and things like that. So a Q&A would be something that I quite like to do. I haven't done one of those in ages. An office tour isn't something that I've actually done. I've done it on Joe's channel, JJJ Cards, but I haven't actually had someone kind of follow me around and me do an actual 10-minute video on all of the collectibles that I've got here. It was just kind of like a quick highlight reel of some of the things that are in my office. The goals for 2026 I'm doing right now. I haven't even eaten dinner today. I've been for a run. And I'm starving. It's 8 o'clock. I thought of something there. Why I collect Roy Keane. I would like to do kind of a documentary style video. That's one of my goals for this year. A real slow, moving, heartfelt, collecting story, journey video, and have that as a documentary style video, I think would be something exciting and a bit different. Could be on the Roy Keane collection, or it could be on the Fulham 2020. Probably the Roy Keane one, I think, would be slightly more interesting, because I did do a TikTok on the Roy Keane video recently. I titled it "Why I Switched Premier League Teams," and it did do really well, and I got some really nice feedback from that. A 2025 roundup, I haven't done that yet, and I switched Prem clubs and my FFC collection today, so that's kind of just more of a note, which I've just mentioned there. One thing that I will finish on is I feel so motivated going into 2026 due to several conversations that I've had with Joe, due to some of the opportunities that I've got coming up with Huddle. Also, some really simple life lessons and life hacks. Going out of 2025 in December, I wouldn't say I was depressed. I wasn't happy with. I thought that 2025 was a good year, but I don't necessarily think the YouTube stuff that I put out in 2025 was the best stuff that I've done. I don't think I put in as much effort as I probably should. I did have a girlfriend. I am now single, which does make life a little bit easier in terms of creating content. You've got a lot more time. My girlfriend was actually based overseas as well, so there was a lot of time spent traveling and things like that. But towards the end of 2025, in December especially, my diet was awful. Now that's normal because it's Christmas period. I was drinking loads. And when I was getting drunk, I would completely black out. I had a recent story where I went to my friend's house. We have this annual Christmas dinner. There was 2 baby announcements from my friends. It was very celebratory. It was, Christmas. Spirits were very, very high. In all senses of the word, spirits were very high. Port might have slipped into my Guinness a couple of times. I wasn't even drinking Guinness. I was drinking cans of Stella, which is dangerous enough as it is, from 12 till 10 p.m. So good few hours, 11 hours of drinking and eating. And then going to a friend's birthday afterwards in a pub, more drinking. I was very drunk, and I ended up getting home in an Uber, which I have no recollection of. I left my glasses in the Uber. I woke up to a £50 Just Eat bill and opened my flat front door to 3 18-inch pizzas and a can of Stella that I do not remember ordering. No recollection. Woke up, didn't have my glasses that I just bought that week. I'd only just got them from Specsavers up the road on the Monday and had lost them on the Saturday. And I kind of thought, do you know what? Like, what am I doing? Do you know what I mean? Like, what's going on here? How are you this ill-disciplined? I don't know if that's a word, but it's quite scary in terms of just completely blacking out from the entire time I was at the pub, which is about 2 hours. Don't remember any conversation that I had with anyone, and I don't necessarily feel like I had the best relationship with drinking, alcohol in general. So I'm on dry January. I've been eating well. I've been back running, and I've never felt more motivated. I've never felt better about producing content. I've really enjoyed this video. This is the first long form video I've done in 2026. I've really enjoyed the TikToks, and I think my life is now really set for 2026 to be a kind of a breakout year. And I'm making this video to kind of manifest that and to hold myself accountable for all of those goals that I've got on the wall there, which is why I keep looking up there. So I hope this video has not been too boring. I deliberately didn't want to edit it. I didn't even want to add any pictures in here. I just wanted it raw, me talking to you, explaining where I'm at, what my goals are. And finally, the most important thing is I want to thank everyone that has joined me on this journey and that has supported from either 5 minutes ago, if you've just subscribed, or all the way back to sort of 2020 when I've made my first video. I genuinely could not have stayed in the hobby without you and enjoyed making the content without all the nice comments, without all the people coming up to me at the card show, without all the friends that I've made. And I'm so grateful for the hobby. I'm so thankful for the hobby. I'm so motivated going into 2026. I can't wait. Please join me on this journey for this year. We'll see where we're at next year. Hopefully we can talk about potentially taking this to the next level, taking it seriously. And that's, I think, everything that I've got to say. So thank you. Hope you've enjoyed this video. Comment anything that you want down in the comments. Good, bad, honest, I don't mind. I can take it. And I'll see you on the next video, which will be this weekend, where I film the sticker launch and also the Fulham Middlesbrough game. Thank you very much, and I'll see you on the next one.